Hey everybody, I'm Louise from Wildflower Wool and welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I'm upstairs here in my yarn room. If you've been watching any of my weekly videos, you'll know that I've been talking, I don't know how long, the last few months, I've been talking about getting all of my stash put on Ravelry. I started and got totally overwhelmed. And so I decided to wait until this week when I was on vacations, till I had a big chunk of time to sit down and do it. To be honest, I haven't got anything put up on Ravelry because I decided I wanted to give this whole room a bit of a revamp. So if you want to tag along with me and see what I've got in totes and boxes and bins, I'm going to do a bunch of different videos because there's no way I can put it all into one. So grab your knitting, grab a drink, get comfy, and I'm going to flip the camera around and I'll show you what I've started doing. Here is a look at the room. Now, fair warning, it is a disaster still because I have been just working at cleaning out the center of the room. I have to admit that the floor space in here got totally piled with bags and totes of yarn. It was almost impossible to walk in here. So really, I feel like I really accomplished it a lot already, but it still all needs to be sorted because my first goal of working in this room was to clear out this area so I would have some room to shuffle furniture around. So everything that was just kind of sitting around just got put in black garbage bags, totes, bins, cardboard boxes, anything that I had around. And it's all just piled up here in my hallway, my bedroom, and I do even have a couple totes in the bathroom because there was a lot of it. So this was my son's bedroom when we first moved in. And when he moved out into the apartment that he's living in now, that was the perfect opportunity for me to bring these shelves and my yarn up here and just to make a nice space for myself to work up here. But unfortunately, because it has gotten to be such a mess, I really haven't been working up here. So this will be really nice. I'm really, really looking forward to being able to work up here and just not having to be sitting on the couch downstairs in the living room all the time. So these white shelves actually came from the first yarn shop that I taught in. And when she was ready to close up her shop, I was lucky enough to have first dibs on the shelving, and I was able to bring it home, which has worked great for my stash. Okay, so I'm going to flip this camera around. Actually, I think I'm going to set it up on the tripod, and I'm going to talk to you about this pile of stuff because I did do some cleaning, some organizing yesterday, and I will tell you all about that in just a second. Okay, we are over in this corner of the room. This cabinet I moved yesterday. It had been over here in front of the window, and I didn't realize until I moved it yesterday how much of the window it was covering. I knew it was covering, I thought, a couple of inches of the window. I thought when I put it there, originally years ago, I thought that's no big deal, it's not that much. I moved it yesterday and I was shocked at how much more sunlight was coming through. I had the window open at that time. There was a beautiful breeze. And moving this was the best thing I could have done. I love the fact that it is open up that whole window area, letting the breeze and the sunshine in. Fantastic. The only drawback to moving it here, not sure if you can see here, there's where the shelf is. Here's where the edge of the cabinet is. So we've got, again, this cabinet is not working in every spot that I want it to go. There's a few inches extra width on it, but you know what? I can handle that. It bothers me a smidgen that they're not totally even with one another, but the benefit I'm getting from the window, I can live with this extra overhang. Look at this cabinet, you guys. I love it. When I opened this up, when it was over by the window to empty it all out to move it, bags literally fell out at my feet. It was shoved so full of stuff. It was filled with fiber. It was filled with fabric. It was filled with some knitting needles and cables and tips and all kinds of oddball little bitty stuff. This was so full that, I really couldn't find anything in there anyways. So I took it all out, emptied it all out, sorted it into fabric and fiber, and put my fiber back in here. I know some of you guys are probably looking at me right now going, Louise, I have never seen you spin. And you'd be partly right. I haven't done any spinning on this channel, and I do a little bit of spinning. I'm more of a want to be spinner. I do have some spindles and I do have a wheel, but I haven't done too much in it. But I am well stocked for maybe this winter. Maybe this winter will be when I pick up the spindles and do a little playing around with it again. I love how this looks, everybody. I feel like this is so organized. Nothing is falling out. No fabric went back in here. I have right here along this side, all my roving is in here. So if I want roving, I know it's on the top right hand side of the shelf. I can find it. I sorted out by not breeds, but farm, by vendor that I had bought things from. Hopeful Shetland is a farm just outside of London. Michelle is a fabulous lady. I've known her for quite a few years now, and I love her stuff. I have played around spinning with her Shetland fiber before. It's great. So I have got a few bags. So I'm not sure what these are. So I guess they're 100-gram bags. I don't know too much about fiber and how it's sold, but I have it in a few different natural colors. The white, and then there is some dark brown up there at the top. These two bags at the front come from Circle R Livestock. She is another lady who is local. She lives about an hour north of the city. I met her at a fiber festival, loved her product. I took a drive up to her farm once. She gave me a tour of their sheep farm, which was fantastic. And I bought some fiber. She has, or at least in the past, I know I've seen her doing some natural dyeing, which is interesting because I also do some natural dyeing. And I was just going to say I didn't buy any fiber or any yarn from her, but I most certainly did buy some. So I'm sure when we get over to that side of the room, we will come across it somewhere. Anyways, fiber, yarn, it is also hard to resist. Angora, oh my goodness. These two bags here are Angora hair. Oh, it is just as light as a cloud. I have no idea what it's like to spin with. I haven't tried it. I've just been keeping it in here and coming in and feeling it every once in a while. It is so soft. So I don't know, any spinners out there, have you spun Angora? I'm kind of guessing that it's probably something maybe a more advanced spinner would use. But having said that, I think the very first fiber I spun was alpaca. And I would think that probably people would say that's probably not the best fiber to start with either, because it probably has that slipperiness just like the Angora. I don't know. I'm just kind of guessing. But I think when I spun my alpaca, it was one of those cases that I was just too naive and I didn't know what I should have known. And I thought, there's no problem with this. I'll just do it. And I did it. And I mean, not that it turned out perfect, because when I spin, what I call art yarn. In the same, well, even within a few feet, I get chunky all the way down to lace weight. It's very, very inconsistent, but I have fun doing it. So there is just some other fibers down here. Down on the bottom, I'm not sure. I'll try to tip you down so you can see. There is one more shelf down here on the bottom. So this blue bag just has some more fiber in it. There's some felt pieces that did come from Fabricland. In that yellow box are some tools, the punch tools for needle felting. And then there's a bag there of all different multicolored fibers, fleece for needle felting. And I also found, I'll show you these quick. So this is one I did freehand with the flowers. And then these two, look at that. Isn't that pretty? I can't take credit for it. It was for a kit. The colors and everything in the picture, I just followed it. And then the crows. I don't know. I thought the crows were cute. So anyway, this is something I played with. I haven't done this in, I don't know, a few years anyways. But I have all the supplies for when the urge strikes me. I've got it all there. I've got the punches, I've got the foam, and I've got felt. I did come across, now look, I said how there was no fabric went back in here because I put most of it in here. I did get rid of some. As I was sorting it, I said to myself, I'm like, okay, this is easy. 3/4 of this has to go. Yeah, no. As soon as I started sorting it, I was like, oh yeah, maybe I'll keep it. But this bag is all gonna get donated back. So there is some fiber fabric in the bottom of this bag. And I came across a wool sweater that I picked up at the thrift store. I'm not entirely, I think I bought it maybe thinking that I would cut it and use this as my base and needle felt on it. Not even sure if you can do that. I've only ever done it actually on felt. I don't know. Like, I suppose I could have felted this. No, don't talk myself. I'm not talking myself into keeping this. The sweater is going back to Goodwill. Maybe somebody will wear it as an actual sweater, but I'm not keeping it. But now that I am thinking about it, maybe I could have cut out like the front of the sweater, felted it. Because I'm thinking the fiber, the stitches of the fiber maybe would be too loose. So if you felted, like needle felted into it, it's not going to be dense enough to hold your fiber. Possibly. I don't know. I'm not that experienced needle felter, so I don't know. All I do know is that sweater is not staying. It is going. Somebody else can enjoy it. So that leads me to fabric. What did I do with my fabric? Because yes, I couldn't get rid of as much as I had hoped I would. Which is the problem why when I start organizing, I have all good aspirations that yes, I'm going to go in, I'm going to get rid of at least half of this stuff, I'm going to make room, and then I start looking at it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I really can't get rid of this. So what I ended up doing, oh wait, that goes in here. I think I can lift this. This 3-drawer, oh, actually you can see things pretty good there, can't you? This was sitting on the green tote that had all that philosopher's wool in it. So I've got 3 drawers here. So my English paper piecing, because that's all I'd really ever used fabric for in the past, because I don't sew, I don't quilt, but I had done some hand sewing with the English paper piecing, making the hexies, which was really, really fun. And I would like to keep doing that at some point. So I went through, and my criteria for fabric was, if it had flowers, I would keep it. If it was holiday like Christmas or Thanksgiving or Halloween, I would keep it. If it was yellow, I would keep it. Which pretty much was all the fabric, because I really wouldn't buy anything anyway, you know, otherwise. But I did have some, because some I had picked up here, there, and there was like grab bags of fabric. And so some things were oddball fabrics that did not fit into that criteria. So I'm going to give it away. I have a lot more fabric in a different spot in the house. So this, I'm thinking that eventually these 3 drawers will probably end up with yarn in them. But for right now, I thought I'm not going to give away too much fabric in case I truly do want it. So it is in here. It's not in with the fiber. It's not on the floor. It's not just in bags, because a lot of this stuff was still in bags and just shoved in here. So everything is out of the bags. I folded or rolled it up and put it in these 3 drawers. So it's all contained. I know where it is. And I'm hoping I can consolidate it all into one location, and some of this may stay, some of it may eventually go. But for right now, I'm just happy it's in one spot and tidy and tidy. So what else did I find? I found a lot of stuff when I cleaned out everything in this corner. The big green tote was full of yarn. I wasn't sure exactly what was in there. I was really hoping it wasn't more lopey I already have 2 bins of Lopi. I didn't need any more. And it was not Lopi, but it was close. This is a big bag of Philosopher's Wool. Philosopher's Wool, I'm not even sure if they are still operating anymore. Here's the tag. So I'm sure that this is, you're meant to put this in the back of your sweater once you finish it. So they were up about an hour's drive north of the city here. They had sheep themselves, and then I think what they did was they got sheep from other local sheep farmers. They sent the wool away. They had it made into yarn. They made it sweater kits. They have beautiful Fair Isle sweater kits. So when I went up there like a number of years ago, like maybe like even like 10 years ago, I bought 2 sweater kits. And now, of course, it just went into my stash. I never knit it. And now I'm thinking, yeah, it's too out of date. The styles, you know. So anyways, I will use the yarn because I love the yarn. It's beautiful, 100% wool. I just don't know what I will do with it yet. But I have 4 skeins of this beautiful yellow, which makes me super happy. And the rest of this large tote is full too of all different. I think there's some more actual philosophers in there. Some of it is things that I've just got at thrift stores, Value Village, Goodwill, that kind of thing. Some of it I think is Briggs & Little. Yes, this one here, 100% pure wool, Briggs & Little. So this skein has come, somebody's cleared it out of their stash and I picked it up somewhere. And probably the same with a few of these. So maybe, I don't know, this one isn't really exciting me. I like the blue better than the brown, which is odd. So maybe some of this will be returned, donated back, and let somebody else who loves it more than I do, they can actually use it in a project instead of it sitting here in my stash. That's kind of the philosophy I'm thinking. Somebody else can use it. It's going to make it easier for me to part with it and let it go. So that was the big green tote. This white tote that now has fabric in it. It had a few craft supplies, and there's another large white one of those drawer units that was all filled with craft supplies, like literally craft supplies, like jingle bells and fancy duct tape and what else do I see in there? Oh, pipe cleaners that I was using when I was knitting my candy canes. I like to have a pipe cleaner inside so you can bend it and make it flexible. There was paper. I'm just looking here. I can see it it's just on the other side of the camera. There was paper that I used for the loom that you roll into your, once you have your loom warped, as you're rolling it up, you put paper in between the layers. So there's some of that. I had cardboard in there that I was saving for who knows what, some kind of project that I might need. And truthfully, as soon as I put it in the recycle bin, I will probably want it. But I don't know. I think it may be on its way out. So anyway, so I'm hoping all those crafty supplies like that. I have another drawer bin. What do you call those? Drawers, shelving units, thingies. Thingies seems to be my technical term for things. So I'm hoping that I can kind of consolidate all that because I have it, so I don't necessarily want to get rid of it, but it just needs to be consolidated in a spot where I can find it, because sometimes I'm at the point where I know I have it, but I have no idea what drawer it's in. So it is way easier for me to run down to the store and buy it than it is to try to actually find it. And I would like to rectify that. So if things have a drawer, have a space, and know where I can keep it, it'll stay. If it doesn't have room, it's going to have to go. Make sure you guys keep me accountable and I stick to my own rules. Okay, what else can I show you? I did come up with, I don't think I showed you this. I found a box of stuff from Knit Picks. And let me start before you have a conniption going like, Louise, what in the world? Why do you have so much? There was a time when I was teaching classes out of my home. We would do, it was kind of on a monthly basis. So every month or two, we would have a different project and I would have kits. So my students would buy the kits and I would have supplies, needles, cables, all that kind of thing whatever they would possibly need. So I just had kind of basically like a little yarn shop out of my house. So I came across this. I've got cables that I didn't know I had. I have got Knit Picks interchangeable, the nickel plated tips. Oh, these are 4.5. Only like the size I use the most and never have enough of. And I now have like 7 of them. Okay, well these, I'm sorting needles at a later date. But anyways, well that's like Christmas. That's a nice find. What else is in here? Oh, blocking pins. Oh, there's some wooden. What's that? Oh, these are 5s. The other one I use almost all the time. There's 3 wooden tips. Okay, so I'll have to sort those in so I can actually use them in my own knitting projects. I found some other wooden circular needles. I found a lot, and I've only just started. So I should have started with this. You know, if this is something you want to hang out with me and keep watching, because there's going to be a lot more videos, because I certainly can't put it all into one video. You can see me transform this room, hopefully into, you know, from a jumbled mess into something that feels organized, not overwhelming, and a great space for me to work in. That's what I'm really hoping. The only other thing that I can show you, oh, I did find a couple of things. I found a sweater that I think I am just going to pull out. I started this sweater for my brother. I'm not even sure how many years ago. It's classic wool, and it's I don't know, it's a gray. I'm not sure what the colorway, if it was charcoal possibly, but it is almost all done. But I think, if I remember correctly, I got it all done, and I think it was a little small. So whether my gauge was off, or we could say he gained some weight, I don't know which way is which. But anyways, I think that's why it never got finished, and it's been sitting here for years. So I know, I'm gonna think on this one. Do I guess I should. I mean, look at this. I could make him I could make him a hat out of this. A lot of hats out of this. Anyways, this is all here, plus the second sleeve. So it is all knit. It was just never totally put together. What else did I find down here? A few more balls, random balls of classic wool, and another sweater that started. Look at, there's ribbing, and I have no idea what this is for. I don't know if this was, I just completely started my brother a brand new sweater. It's knit out of this Mercury classic wool. I have got bags of this yarn because I love it. And I have a couple of other projects that I'm using this colorway and too. These 3 actually look good together. I don't know if I was going to put these together or if these just got stuck. I believe this is called Emerald. Yep. And lemongrass. Yes. Anyways, these 2 balls were stuck in here too. So they'll have to go somewhere. And the other thing that was stuck in this corner before the white shelf came in was another big black tote full of dishcloth cotton. Here, I can quickly, I don't know if I can pick this up without, ooh, maybe I can grab it. It's just a little bit out of arm's reach. There we go. Look at this. Look at this. Okay. Oh, well, there is a few balls of sock yarn because sock yarn seems to be everywhere in my house. But the rest of this, dishcloth cotton. Christmas. White. green, orange. I have a full ball of Knit Picks Dishy and what is this? Mulberry. What a nice find. This is pretty. Lots and lots of weight. I have one of these large balls of Bernat Handicrafter. Oh, this feels nice. I love this cotton. I can tell by the feel of it. So this lovely purple, tons more white, another ball of Christmas, another ball of black. Oh, I love this cotton. I'm going to be knitting dishcloths for quite a while. So that's what I found. So anyways, I'm happy how lovely this cabinet looks. I'm happy that I like the position it's in the room. I think I have more things that are not in the proper place, like this bin, the big green tote that has all the Philosopher's yarn in it. So it's going to have to find a home somewhere. But anyways, I'm not going to worry about that for now because I am just happy that I've started, I'm making progress, and I'm sorting through stuff. So I'm going to continue on. I'm hoping to work on those two shelves over there, and I want to move them over there, which I know you can't see where that is, but it is from one wall to another. And we'll see. I've been humming and hawing over it, not sure totally if this is going to be where I want them, but I've just decided, you know what, I'm going to move them because I'm not going to know until I actually have them in place and see it. I try to visualize it in my mind and it's just not working. So I'm just going to have to do it. So I'm going to clean off some shelves and I will show you how it turns out. So thanks for watching, and fingers crossed, send me well wishes that I can find room for all this yarn. And I will see you in the next video. Bye for now, guys.